Good afternoon from the UK, where it's currently 5 p.m. in the afternoon, and welcome to this, another of our InFocus series, jointly arranged by the Rotary Foundation of the United Kingdom and the Humanitarian Service Team of Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland. The aim of these talks is to invite an expert guest speaker to look at how Rotary's areas of focus can be put into action in your community and around the world, and how our Rotary Foundation can help with these projects. This afternoon, I'm delighted to welcome as our speaker, Dr. Aziz Memon, a trustee of the Rotary Foundation and a member of the Rotary International PolioPlus Committee. Clean water, sanitation and hygiene are key ingredients for safer, healthier communities. They reduce the risk of disease, they improve children's access to education, and they help communities develop and grow. Aziz Memon has played a pioneering role in helping to bring clean water and improved sanitation to hundreds of thousands of people in his native Pakistan, from where he joins us live this evening. He has worked with Orangi Town, the world's 5th largest slum located northwest of Karachi, where he opened a solar-powered water filtration plant serving 55,000 people, which Rotary helped to fund. He has led Rotary's polio eradication efforts in Pakistan the past several years and collaborated closely with partners and stakeholders, including the World Health Organization and UNICEF. We're delighted that Aziz has agreed to interrupt his busy schedule and join us this evening. His subject will be water, sanitation and hygiene, the fundamentals of life. So please welcome Rotary Foundation trustee, our speaker for this evening, Aziz Memon. Aziz, thank you.
My friends, Rotary greetings. It's a pleasure to be with you this evening on such an important subject which is near and dear to our hearts, and that is providing clean drinking water to everyone. I know the developed countries have water as a right, but this is not so for many third world countries where clean drinking water is a big challenge, and they are not able to get that. We have done so many things to provide clean drinking water. We have put up wells in the desert, hand pumps in some villages. We have put up solar water filtration plants. We have put up reverse osmosis plant to give clean drinking water to as many as we can serve. Water and sanitation is a subject which has always been on the priority list of Rotary Foundation. We started our journey with water plants in partnership with Coca-Cola, and our first 48 plants were funded by Coca-Cola. We are thankful to them. This model proved to be a success model, and many philanthropists, many head of the multinationals also came forward to give their funds to make solar plants. And now, with the help of Rotary Foundation, we are taking this forward to all parts of Pakistan. This is some, eradication of polio is linked to wash activities. Because, unless and until you are not able to provide clean drinking water, you cannot eradicate many diseases. Many of these diseases, including polio, are waterborne. So during last 6 years, we have gained mileage recognition in polio high-risk locations, and we have provided them clean drinking water. A third-party evaluation done in some of the high-risk areas where we provided the water filtration plant proved that the acceptability of vaccine improved because the local residents of that poor locality realized that we are just not there for giving vaccine, but we care for them. Our motto, our vision is PolioPlus, and we want to provide them everything which they need, which is their right. Next slide. The installation of solar-powered filtration plant has been possible through generous contribution, as I said, of Rotarians overseas, corporate sector, philanthropists, global grant projects. We have done projects with the funding of Japan, of USA, of Korea, and many other countries. I would urge the fellow Rotarians in Great Britain also to come forward and support our mission. You will be recognized in the project. We can put the name of your club or your district or the donor, whosoever wants to give the funds. And it is not a very expensive proposition. One solar water filtration plant costs around $12,000, and reverse osmosis plant costs around $15,000. And we are there to provide you technical guidance and support. Next, please. The polio eradication and these activities go side by side, hand in hand. And we are proud to tell you that on the 27th of January, we completed 1 year without any wild polio case. Next slide, please. And this was a very happy moment, not just for us, not just for the government, for the partners. And this was for the first time that Mr. Bill Gates flew into Pakistan to congratulate the stakeholders on reaching this 1 year free polio mark in Pakistan. We have to do 2 years more, and as a matter of fact, now 1 year and 10 months more to be certified. And I can see DG Michael Fernando also just now joined, and he is someone who is very close to us and he cares for the people of Pakistan. Welcome, Michael Fernando. Next slide, please. These are some of the, Prime Minister Task Force meeting, and the one below is the meeting of the National Emergency Operation Center, in which I was also present, which was chaired by Mr. Bill Gates, co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. So our mission, our meetings start from the lowest level, from the council level, district level, goes up to the chief minister and then to the prime minister, because our work, our mission is such that we need to have all the stakeholders on with us to reach our goal. Next slide, please. This was, this is the chair of International PolioPlus Committee, Mr. Mike McGovern with me. And in the middle is the Afghanistan Health Minister and Dr. Kalander Ibad. We had a good, productive meeting with him. And he is very much supportive. But unfortunately, the security conditions in Afghanistan are not that favorable. When the NID started on the 22nd of March, 22nd of February, 22nd of February, 9 vaccinators were killed and the NIDs had to be called off. So, we have a 2,400 kilometers porous border with Afghanistan. there is a migration which goes on, and it has been going on for centuries. People come and go. So and then when the coverage in Afghanistan is not good, it's a nightmare for us. We have to be vigilant on our borders. We have to check every child. As a matter of fact, on the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, we do an all-age vaccination. That means it is just not the babies under 5. Vaccine are given to the adults also, because the adults will not be infected with the virus, but they can be carriers. So, peace in Afghanistan, improvement in Afghanistan health sector in the security areas would be a blessing, just not for Afghanistan, but for the whole region, including Pakistan. Next slide, please. These are some of the support programs which we do. Like, we run resource centers, we train polio workers, we put up water filtration plant, we do advocacy at all levels, we do transit checks at bus stops, at trains, we do religious leaders workshop, removing the false rumor mongering among these people that there is nothing wrong with the polio vaccine. We hold health camps, and the health camp numbers have increased now. We do a big number of health camps before the NIDs. And now Jeevat has joined us. Jeevat is a Rotarian from a desert area, and he works day and night, His passion is just so much that he's a doctor by profession, but he is a great supporter and great worker of us. We have so many Rotarians today with us. We have got a senior Rotarian, Afsha Lalani also. She is the coordinator, and we are thankful to her for joining. Next slide, please. These were some of the pictures of giving a vaccine, and the Rotary News has given us a very good coverage on completion of 1 year, and they have put us on the cover, for which we are thankful to them. And they have also interviewed our 4 zonal coordinators. You can see Salim Raza, he takes care of Balochistan, which is a critical area. Then we have Rauf Royla taking care of the KP, another critical area. Then Saeed Shamsi taking care of Punjab, and Masood Balli taking care of Sindh. And we have Ashar as our technical manager, who will be available to you for any questions about the water filtration projects, because he is the person who handles them.
Thank you. Thank you, Aziz, so much for your wonderful work. And we are delighted that we are joined this evening from people from all around the world who are listening and learning from what you have achieved. Now, I'm going to ask you some questions that have been sent in, first of all from the UK, then from Pakistan, and then from Brazil. So from the UK, we have Patricia Wellesley from London, who asks you, how can we extend the WASH activities to rural parts of the world?
Well, as I mentioned to you, that most of the water projects we are doing are being done in rural areas, because they have the largest needs. Secondly, there are so many slums also, like surrounding Karachi or surrounding Lahore or Peshawar. They also need some help. So we take care of that also. And the Rotarians of Japan, of Turkey, of so many parts of the world are working with us. And we would be too delighted to work with Patricia. She can send an email. She can take my email from you or from Bill, and send it to us, and we will respond immediately.
Yeah.
And we will make a partnership, a doable partnership, a workable partnership. And we will also ensure that the funding done for one project sees the light of the day and it continues to be there. We take care of it and we service them, the projects, non-stop basis.
That's marvellous. Thank you so much. I think Patricia will be thrilled to hear that you will link with her on some of her ideas there. So the second question from the UK is from Leslie Hoskins, and she asks, how can we prevent the pollution of watercourses, and what is Rotary policy on this?
See, pollution of water is a very, very important subject, and there are many reasons for that. Some garbage goes into the water, the oil spill is, goes on polluting the water and damaging the fishes and all the lives which are under the water. So many steps have been taken, but these steps are at the level of the government. We at times Rotary got some dredges to do the cleaning of some canals and some water drains, but that was on I personally conducted several, but that was on a smaller level. But having clean water around, it's just not possible for Rotary. We need to have the support of the government. The government is very supportive. The government also needs to put in some funds to make sure that this is done. We are working with them. We hope that we will get some success.
Yes, thank you very much for that. That gives us some guidance in that area. Now, I'd like to ask you some questions that have been sent in from Pakistan. And in fact, you have mentioned this person already this evening. Afshan Lalali has said, could you explain how you monitor the WASH projects?
We have a engineering team led by our technical person, Ashar. He is with us here, and he keeps a record of all the water filtration plants put up with help of Rotary, with the help of our donors, with the help of foundation grants, with the help of a multinational like Coca-Cola. And he personally visits them from time to time to see that if they are functioning properly or not. At times, he discovers and immediately reports that there have been some issues with some plants. We immediately put up a team to see to it that how they could be taken care of, and then they are done. Secondly, we have developed, wherever we put up a plant, we do an MOU with the local residents. They are very important. They play a very important part. As a matter of fact, we have a key which we hand over to the local residents that we have done this for you. Now you take care of it. And these are our numbers. You keep a feedback and keep us informed as to the progress and prosperity this plant brings. And whenever you find any shortcoming or any problem, let us know and we will put it right.
Yes, that's very good indeed. And as you say, involving people with the memorandums of understanding and explaining and picking up things as you go along, then we all learn, don't we? And we learn then to be able to spread those good ideas. So that's marvellous. And we have another very interesting question from Pakistan, from Juat Sundar, who asks about what is the role of interactors? What is the role of our young people, our interactors, in the WASH activities? I
did mention his name also, Dr. Jiva Sundar, that he is from a desert area, and he works
yes.
day and night. He is our frontline worker. We love him. We appreciate his work. And he has formed about 52 interact clubs. I know that. Now, involving interactors in the WASH projects a little bit complex and complicated. Rotarians will be better soldiers to take care of that. But the interactors and rotractors can do advocacy, can tell the residents that having clean drinking water is necessary. Then teaching good habits about water, like, washing hands before taking a meal and washing hands after coming out from the toilet. One of the UNICEF study had showed that most of the rural areas, people that do not wash hands. So this is also, a big issue. Rotractors and interactors can play a major role in advocacy and teaching the local residents. We have some speaking books also, which are very interesting. And they are in 3 languages, English, Urdu, and the Pashto, which is in the north, in which, as you turn the pages, the voice comes and says how to wash hands, how to live, how to cook. Everything is taught in that. So these books are also could be used by interactors, rotractors, to train the villagers, to train the slum area people as to how they can take care of it.
Delighted, Aziz, to hear of those materials. Although the question came from Pakistan, our interactors and rotaractors could use those resources too. I really did not know about those, so that's marvellous. We're all learning. That's a really good idea that we can pursue there. If I can now move to a question from Brazil, and this is from Claudette Schulber, and she's asking, what would you recommend? What would be the WASH recommendations from Pakistan to Brazil? They are wanting to learn from yourselves, the things you have done.
No, it would be a pleasure to share with them. And as I told you, that our technical manager is also on this Zoom call, and they can send an email to them, and I assure them that we will reply within 24 hours and share with them all the things we have done and how they can take it forward, because there are areas in Brazil also where clean drinking water is an issue.
Yes, absolutely.
I would be too delighted to help them, assist them.
Yes, they really do have similar scenarios and things that they're addressing. And I think the technical help will be particularly welcomed. So that's much appreciated. If we go now back to the UK, we've got a question, a very interesting question around what quantity of safe water per day is needed per person. And I think this is from John Walker, who's interested in how do you assess the needs of a community. So it's what quantity of safe water per day per person do you calculate?
This calculation depends from the economic growth also. The people in cities, they take shower 2 times a day or at least once a day. They need water for everything. Now, when you go to the rural areas, they need water for drinking. They need water to feed their animals. They need water for cultivation of the crops. So that is their need. So the consumption of water, we have the charts. We'll be too glad to share with them. But then again, it depends on the economic conditions of that area.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be different as we move into different communities. But I thought it was an interesting way that he was trying to sort of measure the needs. One more from the UK, and then we'll go back again to Pakistan. And this is from Leslie Raven. Very interesting. She's talking about the UK and her local community. How can we introduce clean water and sanitation for my local community to access when out and about? So it's not necessarily when they're at home, but when they're traveling around. And probably that would be something you could explain through what you do in Pakistan when people are moving between communities.
Well, this is something very interesting, because when people are moving, the water need is definitely there, and it doesn't become zero. The water has to be made available at the transitory stops, at the not at the destination alone, but at all the places where they are going to stop. And this is also a very big challenge, to have water available when these poor people go from one place to another. Sometimes they go on animal bullock carts, sometimes on the donkeys, sometimes on the buses, but everywhere, wherever they move. And you know, like our winters are 2 to 3 months. Most of the time we have summer, and the heat, you know, it goes up to 52 degrees centigrade. So 52 centigrade is a hot weather. And
Yes.
in that, the need for drinking water also is more. You know, when we have the summer heat and the polio NIDs are going on, we buy bottles of water and give to the vaccinators so that they can carry with them, and they should not get dehydrated when they are giving the duty, noble duty of giving drops to the children. So this is also a very, very important area, that while moving, while traveling in this heat, and in the desert, the heat is more. So it is hot. We need to support them because they can get heat stroke. They can get dehydrated. So many things can happen.
Yes, it can. And you've so rightly pointed out, we need to always be aware of hydration and accessibility, don't we? So it's been wonderful. I'm so grateful for you for answering the questions that have been sent in. And now Bill, my colleague who you've seen earlier this evening, has questions that have come in this evening. So Bill is now going to ask you questions that have come in since you've been talking. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cheryl. Thanks for that. Thank you, Aziz. I never realized the temperature in Pakistan got up to 52 degrees. And you say you provide the vaccinators with water, which leads me into one of the first questions that was asked in the question and answer session. And that relates to the murder of the polio vaccinators. And how has that affected your ability to recruit people? This is a question from Nan McCready.
What's the question, Bill?
The question, it relates to the getting vaccinators and the recent murder of the polio vaccinators. Has that affected your ability to recruit people further?
Oh, this is a sad question, because if we look back in these years where we have been battling with polio, we have lost about 200 frontline vaccinators. This includes the policemen also guarding the vaccinators. And as I mentioned that we lost 9 in Afghanistan last month or 3 weeks back, and we have been losing them in Pakistan also. So we, Rotary immediately gives a check of compensation to the family. Then Rotary helps the family in getting some funds released from the government. Then we have some awards also, which we have done with CDC, and Rotary gets some recognition also to that family, and some money also comes with that. We try to get jobs to the next of the kin of the person assassinated, and we have also developed polio memorial scholarship just to remember those who gave their lives. And this is in Master in Public Health, 2 years degree course. So these things are done. The life lost cannot be brought back, but we admire the work of the vaccinator, and the battle continues.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a very sad set of circumstances. There's a supplementary question has just come in on that. It's from Dr. Robert Steinberg. Why isn't the army, he asks, why isn't the army providing protection to the vaccinators? Why is the army not providing protection?
No, army is providing. You know, army is definitely providing. The local police force is there, the rangers are there, and in some critical areas, like in South Waziristan, we have Pannu, we have Lucky Marwat. We can tell you that we cannot move there without the support of the army. We owe to them. They are doing their national duty by helping, protecting the vaccinators. But you know, this is a mountainous terrain, and for the miscreants and for these people to move in and move out, it's so easy. So all protections possible are being given by the army. Army is doing their job very well, and we are thankful to them.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, it's very difficult terrain. A question from Ian Graham on the water purifying systems themselves. Ian asks, the systems that you use in Pakistan, are they available around the world, such as in the sub-Sahara in Africa?
You know, we use some local machinery and some imported machinery, and you know, because filtration process is one, and having a solar support and then merging it requires the local expertise. So you know, we blend the two to make sure that when the electricity is not there, also the water filtration plants run. So we have developed this technology, and now there are many vendors, many providers who can do this all across the country.
Thank you very much. And there's another question about the water filtration systems. And this time it's from Nigel Heller. Nigel Heller. Don't take all night to answer this, please. But he asks, what is the technology of the solar water filtration system? Very simply, please.
You know, solar, see, if you look at the water, as I mentioned earlier, water filtration, the water filtration plant, it uses so many safeguards to take out the dirt and filth from the water, to make it purified, to make it to be used by the human beings. And these waters are tested. They are tested in labs before, after, and the testing process goes on. Now, solar is, as I said, that solar is a protection given to the plants so that they remain operative when the electricity is not there, and the electricity is not very dependable. It comes and goes. So we want to make sure that the plants keep on running.
Thank you very much. And
one thing I wanted to add, you know, that's why certain filters are changed regularly in the plant. And this are done by us, and we keep on doing that.
Thank you very much. And one other question, staying with the solar filtration plants at the moment, Janine asks, do the plants work in winter as well? Do the plants work in the winter as well as in the summer?
The question is that,
do the solar filtration plants work in the winter, in the cold?
in the winter also they run. The water is needed in winter also. The need in summer is much, much more. But you know, you need to drink water in winter also. The animals need to drink water. So the need in winter is there. It is not that in the winter, the plants are shut off. No, they operate around the year. And you are right. She is right that the need of water is more acute in heat of summer, but in winter also you need water.
Thank you very much for that. And one other question on WASH. How do the sanitation and the hygiene aspects of WASH get covered as part of the WASH projects in Pakistan? How are the sanitation and hygiene aspects of WASH, how are they covered in the projects within Pakistan?
Well, I cannot tell you that the sanitation is as per what our rules are and what the our agenda is, but still the sanitation is there. In the rural areas, in the slum areas, the sanitation needs to be improved. We work there also, trying to help the villagers, trying to support the government, and we are after the government to keep on upgrading the sanitation systems, because having bad sanitation system also gives rise to the diseases.
Thank you. You mentioned earlier Interact and the use of interactors. There's a question here about the possibility of linking Interact in Great Britain with Pakistan. Can we connect Interact in Pakistan with Interact in Great Britain and Ireland to share knowledge and increase understanding?
Yeah, we can definitely. There are so many exchange programs, and our retractors also go abroad. Interactors also have been moving, and if there is any suggestion from Great Britain to work with the retractors and interactors of Pakistan, we would be too glad to take it forward.
Great, thank you. Let's hope we can set that up then. A question from Glossop Rotary Club. How many people, they ask, or the questioner asks, how many people would be supplied with clean water by a reverse osmosis system? How many people might be supplied with clean water by a reverse osmosis system?
It could be anywhere between 300,000 to 500,000 per plant.
Thank you. And from Margaret James Cooper, is water wash extended into Afghanistan as well?
Afghanistan has different issues, and we have Rotary there. We have few clubs. They're not very strong, and we are trying to support them. And we have offered to them also that if they want to initiate, we can provide them a solar water filtration plant also. But we need some improvement in their security system, in law and order system, so that the technicians from here can go there and install such a plant.
Thank you. I'm just checking through. I think we have answered all the questions that have been submitted during your talk, and as you've been answering
and
questions.
you, Bill, you can share my email with them. And if they have later on also any question, I would be too glad to.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much for that. And it falls to me now simply, Aziz, to thank you for your contribution to this. You've highlighted obviously the importance of clean water in all that we do, and the difficulties encountered in providing that within your own country and in other countries. And unfortunately, we're seeing the same thing taking place this very day in the Ukraine. But thank you for giving up your time this evening.
No problem. No problem. It's a pleasure.
Almost 11 o'clock with you, and we'll let you get away.
Thank you. Thank you. And I will always be available to you. As a matter of fact, I would be in London in next 2 days, and I can meet up also anyone who wants to meet me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. I'm now going to hand back over to Cheryl, who's going to tell you about the next InFocus event.
Thank you. Good night.
On April the 7th, our next InFocus session, we'll be looking at maternal and child health. And we're really pleased to have as our keynote speaker, Charles Cox. Charles is a Rotarian, a highly experienced obstetrician and gynecologist, and he's actually worked in a range of different places, the Falkland Islands, Jamaica, Iraq, Afghanistan, and he actually is the co-founder of a charity called the Baby Helpline. So his focus will be very much on maternal and child health and the practical things that you could do in this area to help. So we do hope you'll be able to join us again. And Charles Cox, I am sure you will thoroughly enjoy hearing of the work that he's been doing. And the title of his talk is Women and Children First. So thank you for coming along this evening, and please do join us again for the next InFocus session on April the 7th. Thank you.